Hey, what is up you guys, welcome back. Today we're gonna take a deeper look at the CSGO skin economy crash following the new operation release and how it has impacted different categories of CSGO skins, as well as taking a look at how those skins have recovered, because it has already been 10 days since the new operation release. So let's see how that has gone so far. Also, we're gonna learn a little bit of why this crash happened in the first place, because a lot of people are new to CSGO, they haven't really experienced crashes, so I'm gonna try to explain that as well, so you can understand. Generally, it's possible to know when CSGO market crashes are going to happen, but not all the time, and the release of the Riptide operation is one of those times when it's impossible to predict, and that's why the scale of this crash is much larger than the other ones. The first category of skins that we're gonna take a look at is all the discontinued CSGO collections that have good skins at the top, like for example the Gods and Marses collection that has the Medusa, or the Rising Sun collection, the Norse collection, and the Havoc collection. The last two collections are a bit newer, but in my opinion they fall in the exact same category. First up is the Gods and Monsters collection. This one has crashed close to the average amount on the market, which is 30%, and since then in the past 10 days it has barely recovered. During the previous operation release the crash was much lower for this item, but the recovery took around 1 month. So we can expect the recovery to take around 1 month, but here is where it goes the other way. You have to keep in mind that there is going to be a new tournament, and because people are holding out, people are waiting for that tournament to come out and spend more money on things, they are not purchasing these items, therefore items won't really recover in this time period. But afterwards we're gonna have all the benefits and none of the downsides, because there will be no more events we should be looking out for, no more events that are going to crash the market massively. Well, maybe the winter sale, but that won't have nearly as big of an impact as these two events, the operation and the tournament. We're gonna have an increased amount of players, probably reaching new record highs, so that is going to lead to a lot of growth, just as we saw last year. And I know that we saw an insane growth around June, but even without considering this spike, CSGO skins were at such a high price during that time, and that is because of all the influx of players and no events happening basically. Another collection that has quite a lot of demand is the Rising Sun one. From here I got the Midnight Storm Deagle, and here we can see that exactly like the previous one, it fell around 30%, and now it is a tiny bit higher. We can see that the buy order is about €1 more expensive than it used to be at the lowest, so it's not really the best time to buy, but it's not the worst either. During the last operation release you can see that it recovered quite fast, but if we take a look at the percentages we can see that right now we are on pace to match this growth. Of course, last year we didn't have a tournament 1 month into the operation, so we're yet to see how that is going to impact the prices, but most likely it will make them fall down for a short period of time. I should actually make an entire video talking about the impact that is expected to happen on CSGO skins by the tournament, but that would need a separate video, and that's gonna come a little later, but not too late. And similar to the other two collections, you can see the Norse and the Havoc collection. Exactly the same graph. Maybe these ones recovered a tiny bit less than the previous two ones. If you're one of the people that are holding these items, it may be a little depressing to see that the price now is actually lower than it has ever been during the operation. It's a little hard to deal with this idea considering that the price was triple at the peak. Regardless of that and what is currently happening, we know that these collections will always be wanted and they will always rise in price, unless something crazy happens, but we don't really expect anything like that to happen, considering that for many years, year after year, nothing serious has happened to bring prices down, and even if they did fall, they always recovered. And of course we recently have a pretty big bubble in the market, which could very well happen again, and if that happens, that will be a very good time for you to sell. The next type of items is a bit of a weird one, because nobody expected it to be a good investment from the beginning. But as time went by, it proved that it's quite a good investment. And recently with the Operation Riptide release, these items fell about 50% in price, which is a record high amount compared to everything else on the market. Following this insane crash, these items did not take long to recover, and they didn't really recover to the point they were before. But considering that they fell 50% and then they recovered 25%, it's already a huge recovery, and people that did buy at the bottom had a huge profit awaiting them. But it's not yet over, because these items are not done going up in price. Remember, these agents are now discontinued, and judging by the way Valve has been doing things recently, it's probably gonna stay that way. Personally, I'm gonna mark it down for myself that agent skins are one of the items I should be going for when there is a new operation release. I'm not saying it's gonna happen soon, a new operation, it's probably gonna happen in a year, and even so, this is going to be very valuable information. You can also look at other agent skins and you're gonna notice a pretty similar graph. Now you probably understand why it is important to analyze the market when such events happen. I do it from time to time for myself, but I also do it for YouTube videos like this one. So if you don't want to miss such videos, then make sure to subscribe. The next type of items that I consider important is cases, and specifically ones that are in the rare drop pool. These ones haven't really taken a big hit with the new operation release, but they've also not really recovered. If you generally take a look at these cases, you're gonna notice that in the 10 days since the release, none of them have gone too much up. Some of them, like the butterfly cases, they fell a lot even after the operation release, just because they got new butterfly knives released, and the old ones kind of fell down in price, so the cases fell down in price respectively. Let's look at what happened last year with the breakout case. It had a pretty similar path, to be honest. In the first week, it actually fell down even lower than during the release. But afterwards, it took around 3 weeks to fully recover. And because we're expecting a tournament very soon, I don't think they're gonna recover till then. So if you wanna buy some, you should probably wait for the tournament. The next very important category of skins is CSGO play skins. If you don't know what play skins means, it's basically skins that look pretty. It's skins that people want to play with. And they don't necessarily have to be good investments. They just have to look pretty and have high demand. Those are the only two things that matter. When you take a look at this up mortis graph, you're gonna notice that it went down above the market average, which is 30%. But it took only 4 days for it to recover to full price. Let's say that I bought these items at the bottom of the market, I would be able to sell them up here for about a 15% profit, which is pretty good for 4 days, honestly. Of course, crashes don't happen every single day, but when they do happen, this is a proven and sustainable way to make profit. Despite these items going down in price overall, you can see that it's not doing so good. Every time there is an important huge update, these items are the fuel of the market crash. They go down in price a lot and they recover a lot as well. And it's not just that one skin. That was an example from one category, and I can show you many more examples. This one right here would be a typical example, only you're gonna notice that it had a huge increase in price, which was generated by the fact that the M4A1S wasn't really a weapon people went for. They would typically go for M4A4, but once Valve buffed the M4A1S, now everybody wants a skin for that weapon because they wanna play that gun. And that is the cause of this insane graph. And now the example is Ob Neo Noir. It fell a similar amount as usual, and it had a decent growth, allowing for profit if you bought at the lowest. But now you kind of notice that it's not quite as good as this other skin. It didn't have as good of a rebound, and maybe it wasn't as low at the bottom. And that's because less people can afford a more expensive skin. The Ob Mortis is like 10 times cheaper, so more people can afford it. And generally, if the skin is priced higher, there is going to be a geometrically lower amount of people that are able to purchase it. So naturally, it won't recover as fast as everything else. But sometimes, like in the case of AK-47 Bloodsport, it may recover just as fast, because the skin is very popular and wanted. And despite it being so expensive, people still want to play with the AK and still want to buy it. The last type of item that, in my opinion, is worth looking at are stickers from tournaments. These stickers are discontinued, low in supply, and very wanted, so that's what makes them a good investment. Currently, you're gonna notice that despite having fallen the average market fall, they not recovered really, not at all, which is not all that weird. The last year it took around 20 days for it to recover, and after that it kinda went ballistic in this area. I think that if you're looking to get your hands on some of these, now might be the perfect time. If you want to be on the safe side, then you should wait for the next tournament and see what the market crash from that is going to do. Still, this should be a pretty good time to buy, considering that from the lowest it reaches, which should be now, it grows about 2.5 times to the peak. And this happens to all of them, not just one. Already it has been going for 3 years in a row, so I don't see why it wouldn't happen again. If you want to know in general why does this market crash happen at all, like what's the reason for people to just sell their skins for so much cheaper if they know price is gonna recover? The thing is, most people that play CSGO and have CSGO skins, they don't care about the price of the CSGO skins. To them, skins are a bunch of pixels that they only use for pleasure and they have no intent of getting money back out of. When they spend $10 on skins, they consider that money gone because they don't think skins have a value. And when they're in that situation, they don't care that they sell their skin for less, they just want to sell it as fast as possible. And because there is a new influx of people trying to sell, this one tries to sell, this one tries to sell lower, this one lower, 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 lower. And that's how the market crashes. All these people are trying to get the new operation pass, all these people are trying to get new stars and just unbox collections, whatever they want to get. And yeah, that's where it comes from. And now you know what to do during another operation release, or perhaps during another crash. You know what to go for. Agents might be a good idea to go for. Play skins are a perfectly good idea to go for. And then maybe collection skins, cases, but those other variants, they take a little longer to recover. So you might be looking at buying those other categories during the next tournament that's coming up. Until then, big thanks to you for watching this video till the end, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye. In case you're wondering about this giveaway right here, I've already picked the winner and he's gonna get his pistol soon. Huge thanks to the members of this channel without whom this video would not be possible. Burb, Roseman, Shrikar, Yanni, No Name, Stagarik, Raptor, you guys rock. Every time I take a break from recording, it's as if I've never recorded videos in my entire life. It just feels like I don't know how to do this. And I've heard even PewDiePie say this. After 10 years of recording every single day almost, if he takes a week off, he doesn't know how to start doing it again. It's so weird.